on Thursday, the 25th of September 2025. You're with Coffee Time with Peter Gomez on West Coast Radio, 92.1 on FM, www.wcr.gm online. And this morning we are with Mr. Joseph Colley, or Joe Colley, chairman of the IEC. How do you plan to engage with young voters and especially first-time voters ahead of 2026?
Yes, I know most probably in the first quarter or so, we will be embarking on. That's a given, we'll be embarking on supplementary registration of voters, because the last one was held the general registration of voters was in 2021. So we know they are from 2021 to date they are not. So we know, you see, Uncle Peter, what we did, what we actually did at the commission, as I said, look, we have stakeholders, and then there is what is called stakeholder analysis. So when you do stakeholder analysis, you know the interests of the stakeholders, and you know whether their stakes are high, medium, low. So you see, these first-time voters, we know their interests, and you see, most of
you know their interest? What is their interest?
Yeah, their interest, like, most of them are in social media. Most of them are in social media. And then they like fancy things. They are into, like musicians and they like. So we thinking of using, like, for instance, if you use ST or Gisel or,
Oh, you know them all, right?
You see, if you use them, to for instance, you say, look, today there's going to be a concert, free concert organized by IEC, and ST is going to play, So you involve them, and then, like, ST, we can speak to him, and then say, look, this is the message we want you to, you understand? So you see, they will want to go to that concert, and then you use that opportunity, to say what you want to say and tell them what you want to tell. Registration is on this date, and you understand. And then they are into social media. You can, like, in fact, yesterday, my staff, the IT department and communications had a wonderful training on social media. So, like, voter education, not only using, conventional media, like for them, like, you have to meet them where they are, mostly.
Like today.
Yes.
You had to come here to give this interview.
Yeah, so you have to, you have to meet them where, where they are, or where they are, and their interest. You can organize games. It doesn't matter. Why not? You can organize, they like processions, rallies, I think when I was director of communication, we used to have those things. Maybe we used to have caravans with some musicians, and then some entertainments and talk shows and things like that. So so we definitely want to engage them so that they can be part of the process, and then we move. So.
And how about the media?
Yes,
the civil society.
Yes.
Especially schools,
yes,
to promote civic education.
Yes. I think even now, I think there is I think there is civics in school now.
We used to have civics in school.
I think it is reintroduced now.
Okay.
I think they do it. They do it as a subject. Yes. So part of the strategy also is to go to schools. We have regional offices, as I said. We will go into schools, and then maybe during assembly, because I'm sure grade 11, even grade 10, you may have people who, because the election will be in 2026, because what is going to happen is the law says that you register those who will be 18 on the date of election. So I'm sure we'll be able to get
the election will be in December.
December, yes.
End of year.
Yes, so we'll have a lot of them. So we will definitely engage them. And then as far as the CSOs, we've been having civil society. We've been having a lot of engagements with them, and then we will continue NCCE and the like, because we do voter education, but like the civic education aspect, you know, the NCC, the civil society, you know, like we can tell people how to vote, where to vote, when to vote, and they like. But when it comes to why, the reason, you know, as a citizen, why you should vote, you know, that those things, you know, we leave for NCC and the civil society and the other community-based organizations. You know, we have an open door, so we're operating an open door policy. We want to collaborate with all the stakeholders so that at least when everybody does their own, when all the stakeholders, you know, do their own bit, then the work becomes light, because we cannot do it all. Yeah, so so the opportunities, and then we will create opportunities. We will grab opportunities that are available to the Commission. As I'm talking to you, we have like Commonwealth is reaching out, ECOWAS, of course, is reaching out, both the Home Office and then the ECOWAS in Abuja, and then in fact the EU. I mean, in fact, I'll be meeting the Commission. Will be meeting them next month. It should have been yesterday, but they postponed it. So UNDP was already. They came and then did the needs assessment. So now they're putting up a project. So there's a small project
different from this
consultant
they're hiring for you for the legal.
This one is up to December. Okay. But the elections project, you know, from 2026 to 2027, you know, people will not say. Maybe people will wonder why 2027. I will come to that, because like in 2027 we will have 3 elections. Mm-hmm. 3 elections in the sense that you know, the National Assembly, according to the Act, according to the Local Government Act, mm-hmm. you know, there should be 1 year between the National Assembly and the local government election. But you remember in 2023 there was a court ruling confirming the tenure of office of the councillors and the mayors to 4 years. So 2023, you know, to 2027 is 4 years. So that is Section 194A, I think, of the Constitution. Okay. So yeah, so it's a Supreme Court something ruling. Yeah, so it's going to be a very short electoral cycle, not 3 years like the others. So it's just 2 years, 2026 to 2027.
Okay.
Yes.
You spoke earlier about inclusivity, how you now have a unit for persons with disabilities, PWDs, yes. As you said. Mm. How will you ensure that marginalized groups like persons with disabilities can fully participate in the elections? And those communities that are so remote that if parties don't have the wherewithal to transport voters to polling stations, people just don't get to polling stations to cast their votes.
Yes. So what we are trying to do is, like, as I said, there's going to be a supplementary registration of voters, and then we will see, depending on the number of people that will be added onto.
I don't need a supplementary registration of voters.
No,
I'm a person with disability.
I know
I have difficulty,
so,
you know, getting to the polling station.
So what we are trying to do is like the other day when we were in fact discussing with UNDP. In fact, we want to start with our offices. Apart from the headquarters, there is no RAM, you know, in all the other offices. So what we are trying to do is, you know, like, for those people, you know, like, for them to access our offices, you know, we want to start with the provision of RAMs. Yeah. Okay. So for the offices, yeah. So and then we also thinking about the
that is just taking care of one class of persons with disabilities.
I know.
Because disabilities.
Yeah, I know. Right now, as I said, like, our gender unit is in consultation with. In fact, the last stakeholders they visited was the Ministry of Gender. So they visited almost the IPC, Tango, CSO, most of the stakeholders, National Assembly, and then we've had 10 workshops in all the regions, and as I can tell you, in each of those workshops, a consultant was recruited, sign language, who was part of all the meetings. So these are some of the things that we encouraging. Now, in all our engagements, we will endeavor, to have, because they always complain.
When it comes to sign language, I always boast about my parish.
Yes.
We are spoiled for choice. We have 2 sign language interpreters every Sunday.
Yes.
So maybe...
Even in St. Teresa's, we have one, but he comes at 10 o'clock.
You have one, we have 2.
At 10, yes. And then we have 2 of my staff who were working at School for the Deaf, St. John's. So sometimes we deploy. So those are some of the things that we want to bring about. Sign language and all our engagement.
Yeah, but what about visually impaired?
Yeah, visually impaired, you see, the system that we...
If we take Ajaratunda
Seka,
for instance,
yes.
She gets to a polling station, she doesn't need somebody to, grab her fingers to say sign here or whatever. She should be able to just,
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, because like that one is easier, it's much more easier when it comes to Braille. But no, notwithstanding, I think what we can do, because this now what we do at the during the by-elections, the 2 by-elections, we started taking statistics. Statistics in the sense we will get the female voters, we will get the male voters, and then we will get the PWDs statistics. Now we will try to endeavor and see. Like with these statistics, in a large-scale election, will we informed as to maybe, as you said, those that are visually impaired? Why not? If need be, if there is provision and then there's money, we can venture into Braille and see how some of these...
Yes, they're right.
Yes,
they should be able to participate in the electoral process unaided.
Of course. I mean, we are in constant consultation with them, and we say, look, we definitely want to facilitate this. The system we use is a bit disadvantageous when it comes to Braille. If it were a paper ballot, that wouldn't have been a big problem. You could have just Braille but nothing is lost. We will endeavor to see, how best, like if you get the statistics of the polling stations as to where they are, we'll be able to,
And is there a policy on elderly voters and, women with children?
Yes.
When they come to polling stations. I've been to a polling station where I've had to be in a queue for hours before voting.
Yes.
I'm 60 plus. I saw people who were older than me and they were standing in line.
Yes, that's in the law. But as I said, Uncle Peter, what we're going to do, in fact, we train our staff to do that. But as I said, yet still is in the law
that people over 60 should just come and be given
the elderly,
priority.
Lactating mothers and things like that. Yes, it's there.
So these people should not stand in a long queue.
Yes, they should.
Unless there are so many that they themselves have to, be in a queue.
Yes, because if you look, they will tell you the people who should be given priority or privileges to vote. That the contesting candidates, and it's a list. They give you a list. Even this bill.
So the law is there, but it's not being implemented.
We'll make sure that it is implemented, because sometimes
I voted Jangjang, and next year
Jangjang, you have three polling stations there. I think.
About 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, I know I walk past one.
Yes.
The next one is where I cast my ballot, and I don't understand why the one nearest to me is not the one where I can vote.
Yes. Sometimes you see, you have to understand. Sometimes it's like if you make it.
I know it's alphabetical.
Yeah, if you make it alphabetical, that's why it's easier. When you go, they'll tell you from A to maybe.
Probably maybe A to F,
A to F,
G starts the next one, which is where I find myself.
Because I vote at New Joshua Bantava, so I'm C. So I go to.
But let's make this very clear.
Yes.
Elderly people, and I am an elderly person. In 2026, they should not put me in a queue.
In fact, that maybe you are challenging us. Maybe we can, apart from it being in the law.
Challenging you.
Apart from it being in the law, maybe what we can do is we can specifically like during the training, we
Because
will.
I have two things playing in my favor.
I know.
I'm an elderly person. I am a person with a disability.
Yes. I understand you. Yes. So that will be emphasized. The emphasis will be given. Yeah.
You spoke about women voters. How does the IEC plan to address the issue of gender disparity in political participation?
Well, you see, Uncle Peter, there are a lot of, I know there are a lot of strong women and advocates, and I think when it comes to candidacy, we don't have much to do, because once it's not in the law, it's just maybe, if it were in the law, no problem. But in the Constitution, we have women's rights. I think we should try to do that. We tried our best, because I think this bill, we started consultation, in 2019, and if people can remember, I think we spoke about the 30%, the quota and things like that, and it went up to I think validation stage also. I think then the SG was Cherno Marena. I think he can. That was at
Solicitor General.
Solicitor General.
Gambians
yes.
are,
yes.
we are fond of abbreviations,
yes,
which start AG today can be
was,
Attorney General.
yes,
the next day it's Auditor General. SG in this case is Solicitor
He
General.
was then Solicitor General. I can remember, and it was not agreeable at the time, and I know we've been talking to the political parties, and we will continue talking to the political parties.
What's the sticking point still? What are they not happy about?
I don't know. I mean, it's depends, because they, the choice of candidates, it's them. They give us the candidates. We don't go and tell them.
You can't impose a quota on them.
No, we can't, because
it's this number of candidates, has to be women.
No, it's not. It's not in the law. So if it's not in the law, we cannot enforce it. But we can. There is goodwill. There are international practices and conventions and things like that. So we can talk to them and then see how best they can because I think some of them maybe it's in their constitution, so they just need to implement it. But we can just dialogue, tell them, bring them the benefits, and then we can do the cost benefits analysis, with them, and then but we cannot sort of enforce them to do that. But we will continue to challenge them, because that's fine. Because in other countries, we've seen Rwanda and the others, how they coming up with this gender thing.
Fantastic.
So if at the government level and at other levels, people are promoting it, why not the political parties?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how will you ensure that political parties adhere to regulations? We saw during the last elections, for instance, one party complaining that another party had encroached into their campaign area, mm-hmm. even though the IEC had published an official campaign schedule.
Yes, we will endeavor to make.
If you can just speak into the microphone.
Yes, I said we will. As I said, we looked into some of these things, because, as I said, with the many litigations, as I said the other time, we have a legal unit, we have a gender unit, and then that notwithstanding, of course, with we will try to comply with the provisions of the law. Yeah, because if you don't, the thing is like, election is sort of like everything is governed by laws.
Yes.
And then what we're going to do, in fact, what happens is like, we sit with them to make this composite program. So I don't think there is any reason for any political party after agreeing.
Well, we saw that in 2021.
Yeah, so we will not try to entertain that, because you see, if one delays, like the geography of the Gambia is such that if one party delays at a particular place, it derails all the others. Because we have only
that should not be condoned.
Yeah, we have South Bank and then we have North Bank. Yeah. So you're going to derail, and then the campaign is time bound, maybe 3 weeks. So if you take one extra 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, even one day, it's something for somebody. And then it's cost, everything is based on cost.
And then you cannot allow the party that delayed to now insist that, well, according to the composite program, I should be in Serekunda on the 23rd. And it's 23rd and I'm here.
Yes,
because you were given a time, you should be out by such time. Now, if that time elapses, you have no business insisting.
Of course.
You should be there.
We will try to ensure that, it does not replicate.
You spoke about this upcoming, or this new electoral bill. How will it improve the process? What fundamental thing or things will it change?
The bill, of course, there is the appointment.
Anything on campaign financing?
No, I don't think. I don't want to promote, but I don't think there is anything on campaign financing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have just 5 more minutes.
Okay.
What do you think of, the proposition to raise the, election deposit?
Well, as of now, I don't, because that's in the hands of the parliament. Yet, I don't want to say much about it, because one way or the other, people may think it somewhere. But I think, as you said, they're looking at it, like Democrats will look at it in different ways. Some will argue that, money should not be, you understand. But some will tell you it is to sort of make the process much more not disorganized and things like that. Just like the system we used. Because the last time we had 26 candidates, 26 aspirants, and then we ended up with 6. With the system we use, if you have 10...
Is the vetting system tighter this time?
Yeah, so if you have 15, 20 candidates, where are you going to put all those boxes? So it's a filtering measure, I think. I mean, for me, that's that. Apart from that, nothing else.
Which brings me again to, our voting system.
Yes.
I mean, how long will this marble voting system last? I mean, we're supposed to be, moving in step with the times.
Yes, I know. But, you see, like there has to be a lot of voter education. In most dispensations, apart from Gambia, like the spoiled ballot comes third. If you look at Ghana and Liberia, the last elections, they are the third best candidates. When you have in Nigeria, you had about 75 candidates.
People voting wrongly.
Yeah. So but even some of my colleagues, they will tell me, Mr. Colley, your population is not that much. Please stay with your marble, because it's rig-proof. It's very, because like with the paper ballot, you have a lot of other things.
Spoiled ballots.
It's spoiled ballot stuffing, and all those things. But with the marble, you have your agent there, one marble with one voter. So you cannot just rig.
So ballot stuffing is impossible with the marble?
No, with the marble you cannot. Because, for instance, even one person alone, if you take two bulls, of course, the bell will ring twice. And we know that something has happened, from the voting. We don't even we have to wait till counting. And the way we do, like from before polls open, you count the ballots. Everybody knows how much. Then after polls close, you count. Then you know what is inside and then what is left. When you add, it tallies. So it's okay. So I
And
think
just finally,
I think we're still sticking with the marble for the next cycle.
And just finally, you've made a commitment, to make the result announcement faster.
Yes.
I mean, will you really work hard on that so that results are declared faster? Because you've had instances when people said, in fact, they are done with counting at Combo North, but we still have to wait hours and hours before Combo North is declared.
What happens is people should know that there's a process. I know there is what is called...
Can we make that process faster?
Yes, we'll make it. There is what is called... there is parallel tallying also. I know political parties do that. They have their own secretariat and they do parallel tabulation. Yes. Not even the CSOs. But you see, from the polling station, it goes to the collation. From the collation to the regional office. And the regional office, it comes to... so, as I said, it used to be done manually. But we are trying to work out whether we'll be able to involve some technology. But that one also, before we deploy it, it has to be... agreeable, we have to. It has to be a consensus between us and the stakeholders. Fantastic. Before we go to deploy any technology.
Joe, thanks for spending time with us this morning. Any final message?
Just to say that we have an open door policy. I mean, as I said, we are just managers of the elections. So the elections is for the Gambian people, and we hope to deliver not just credible elections, but very inclusive and participatory elections.
Fantastic. That's Joe Colley. He's the chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission of the Gambia. We thank him for staying with us.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Si Wave. Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello? Ano lay waxal? Bisul mu fay. What? Bisul mu fine. Oh. Yes! Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills, and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave, Bisul mu fine? Wave, your money is yours.